I'm Sebastian Musgrave, and this is Victoria's Legacy. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I believe that the decor at the Oxford Union Library was your responsibility.
Yes, it was. It was an effort between Dante, Gabriel Rossetti, myself, and another friend of mine. And we were invited to do this. I did the murals with Rossetti, and my other friend did the stained glass. So it was very good, very interesting.
How was it received, sir?
Extremely well. Extremely well, yes.
And did this in any way inspire you and your friends in your future endeavours?
Yes, it did. We decided to form a company, and we called ourselves The Firm. It was William Faulkner, who was a mathematician, and Burne Jones, who was my lifelong friend. He was an artist and a stained glass window person. And, yeah, William Faulkner, as I say, a mathematician. He used to get it all together and say what we needed and all that sort of thing.
Was it those very people that were involved in the creation of the Red House?
Yeah, yes it was. When we finished at Oxford, we decided to move out of London. No, we moved into London, sorry. Myself and Burne Jones. And then I became an apprentice architect, which was against my mother's wishes because she wanted me to be a priest. That's why I went to Oxford in the first place, to study theology at Exeter College. And she wasn't to be. So Burne Jones and I set up in London. He was doing his writing and stained glass stuff, and I went to do an apprenticeship in architecture, which didn't go down well with my family at all. But nonetheless, it was my future, not theirs. And then we became part of the Manchester set, which was quite interesting, and I gave up that. We met this Gabriel Dante Rossetti, and he was a founder member of the Pre-Raphaelite painters, and I joined them when I decided to become a painter. I didn't do very well at that, so after a few years I gave up that and did something else.
So you've had quite a series of interests.
Oh yeah.
Poetry, painting, architecture.
Medieval architecture.
Medieval architecture.
Mm.
Indeed, it was this very medievalism, I'm led to believe, which inspired your designs, your prints on paper and on
fabrics. A lot of them, yes. Nature and medievalism, the two combined make very beautiful pictures. So that's where a lot of it comes from.
I have one of your designs in my country house. One of your early designs.
Which one was that?
The daisy.
Yes, that's one of my first, I think.
Yes.
Very good. It's very interesting.
Yes.
But there you can see nature and medieval art comes into that.
Have you always had an interest in the beauty of nature?
Oh yes, yes. There's nothing more beautiful. It's very colourful, lots of coloured, which I like. As you can see in a lot of my designs, are very colourful and always a nature theme to them. Yeah.
Your designs, of course, have become very popular as of late. Well, I say as of late. Rather, I mean during the last 40 years, in fact.
Well, yes. But I've taken it back to its original form, where we do our own blocking, we make our own hand blocks, and we block it all. It's all hand done. Everything we do is by hand.
So you've mentioned medieval influences. You've mentioned that your influences also come from nature, and the hand blocking, the hand crafting, I suppose one might put it, which goes into your designs.
Yeah.
Is it this then? Are these the key features which make your designs as popular and as appealing as they are?
I would think so, yes, because they will stand the test of time. You don't put them up for, say, a year or so and then change them. They're there for however long you want to leave them.
Did you have a feeling, sir, did you have an inclination that your work and your endeavours would be so popular? I mean to say that currently your designs can be seen adorned in some of the very best country houses up and down.
One always hopes that, but I don't think you set out thinking it's going to happen, you just hope it will. Unfortunately for me it did. But I had a lot of help. There was a lot of us. We all combined our talents to make everything that goes into a house.
I found it quite interesting, sir, that given your creativity and spontaneity, you are also a man of business, and a man of a successful business, or businesses at that.
Yes, we formed businesses, but the first one was called a firm, and then after that was disbanded, we had another one, and then I ended up with the firm Morris and Company.
Which still
is still going.
Is still in existence today.
Mm.
Do you employ many people, sir?
There's a few of us. We're the artists that we've known over the years. They all come in and do their bit. But it's a long, slow process, as you can imagine, as it's all done by hand. So we all live in the same house, and it's about everybody.
Were you aware that you were, in effect, acting contrarily to the current designs and the popular decor of the time, of the period, when you were creating your particular designs?
Yes, I think we were, because I hate mechanism. Absolutely hate it. It's just churning out all the same thing all over and over and over. Boring, bland, colourless stuff. And I've always said, if you want something in your house, make sure it's either beautiful or useful.
Dare I ask, but do you see anything beautiful or useful in my study?
Yes. I can see some things that aren't very beautiful, say as these, for example. I don't think I could put that into a wallpaper design.
I shall have to have a word with my housekeeper.
You will.
I believe also, sir, that aside from your visually creative endeavours, you also have a marked literary bent.
Yes. Yes, I've written a couple of books, 2 books in fact, and they're fantasy novels, and one has the villain, it's called Gandalf, and he's a nasty piece of work, but he doesn't succeed.
Have you written from an early age?
No. I've written poetry from an early age. That was my passion, and still is. In fact, at one time I was known more as a poet than anything else.
And would you say that you are prolific with your poetry and your writings?
I was, yeah.
But...
well, I still write poetry, of course, but
yeah.
As other things come into your life, some things drift out, or don't become quite as important.
And certainly you've had and have a very full life with all of the endeavours in which you are engaged.
Indeed.
I believe that you have particularly strong political beliefs, and you follow the socialist movement.
Yes, I am. I'm quite active in that movement. I believe that everybody is entitled to the same privileges. I mean, art is not just for the rich, for the wealthy, it's for the poor. Why can't we bring some beauty into their lives?
Is it true to say then that you might be considered by some as an anti-establishment figure?
To a point, yeah, but not altogether.
The Socialist League, or the Socialist Reform League, something of that nature, you were instrumental in the formation of such a movement.
Yes, I was.
So you really were quite involved in the...
Oh, I was quite involved. I was quite radical.
In fact, there is a chap who I'm sure will be familiar to the public, Mr. Frederick Engels, who has had some influence over your opinions, I believe.
Yes, he has. Yes.
Are his opinions parallel to yours in the socialism? And
some of them, yeah.
Mm. Would you aspire, sir, to be a politician?
Not in the least. No, I haven't time to be a politician.
You are a creative, you are a businessman, you are a political activist and an agitator. Is there any field, sir, to which you might wish to aspire but have not yet had the opportunity?
No, I don't think so. I'd like to help the poor now, bring things to them that they can't see at the moment because they can't afford it. Bring nice things into their houses, make their lives better.
Like the paper, for example.
Yeah. Why not? Why can't they have that?
How would your wife describe you, sir?
That I'm afraid you'd have to ask her.
Perhaps I will, or rather perhaps I shall, one of these days.
Good. I hope you do.
Mr. William Morris, thank you sincerely for taking part in this series of Victoria's Legacy.
It's my pleasure.